Hello, this is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. So happy to be joined today by Jason McGraw, who is Group Vice President and Show Director for both CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo. We're going to be talking today specifically about Commercial Integrator Expo, which has been really the talk of the town in commercial AV circles. People are really excited about it. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining me today and giving us an update on the latest with Commercial Integrator Expo.
Thanks, Dan. Happy to be here and share some info with you.
I'm really excited for the show myself. In fact, I can't think of a show I've been more excited for. I just want to get a sense, though, of the raison d'etre for it. What brought Commercial Integrator Expo to life? Knowing that you've been running the CEDIA Expo for quite a few years now, can you give me a sense of the reason we created Commercial Integrator Expo? When you were going to, you went to CEDIA Expos past, were people telling you that they were getting involved in this kind of commercial work?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. It was very evident, especially in this past fall show in Dallas, the 22 show, really our first full return after the pandemic. And it was very evident on the show floor, even before we announced the new show, that commercial products were well represented on the floor. Major brands, Sony, Crestron, Harman, LG, Samsung, Planar, Snap, and other brands had both commercial and residential product lines on the show floor. And in fact, 45% of the CEDIA Expo 22 attendees also do commercial project work. So, I think there's a misconception out there that, CEDIA Expo is only about residential solutions. I was very surprised to see that data, but in talking to many of the brands even before the show, clearly even before the pandemic, there's been a convergence going on between the channels, and a lot of crossover work being done by residential integrators taking on commercial work, and now commercial integrators also doing residential. When you think of MDUs and mixed use spaces, even the resi-mercial term, when you think about college campuses having different living environments and entertainment spaces and hospitality and so forth. So this has been going on. It's certainly been accelerated with the pandemic as we've had to work from home, as we talk about hybrid office spaces. Our homes have become offices and classrooms for our students and entertainment spaces. And so, there's been a whole new reinvestment of technology and thought process into designing flexible spaces in our homes. How do we redevelop commercial office space for different uses? So it was just very timely. And as we started to have these conversations over the last year or so prior to our announcement and talking to brands, it made a lot of sense for us to say, hey, how do we accelerate those conversations? How do we add additional content programming to talk about commercial solutions and applications and case studies? So we do plan to have a new conference with Commercial Integrator Expo. So we see this as being very additive to CEDIA Expo by having two events co-located, same time, same show floor, same date, same location, to provide more value for the Resi channel to get more exposure to commercial solutions, and then also provide a new venue for commercial service providers and technology managers from corporate, higher ed, hospitality, and retail market segments to come to this new show, have the benefit of taking advantage of seeing hundreds and hundreds of exhibitors on a shared show floor, get great new content ideas and networking opportunities, not only with their peers, but with others to explore new business opportunities and professional development opportunities. So we think it's a very compelling case and made a lot of sense to us, and it made a lot of sense to many of the manufacturers that we spoke to before we announced the show. And we're starting to gather a lot of interest and a lot of support, as you mentioned.
It really is a compelling proposition. And I have to say, as someone who speaks to members of the channel every day, I'm hearing exactly what you talked about, this coming together of the customer residential world and the commercial world, integrators playing in both spaces. And of course, the co-location of CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo will feed right into that. As you say, there will be one merged, essentially, show floor. So you'll get to have one badge, but get to experience both Commercial Integrator Expo and CEDIA Expo Expo in one space. You'll be able to go back and forth between each. So people will get a real sense of that coming together of technology categories, won't they?
Absolutely. And the other thing, for our CEDIA member friends, and we've spoken very closely and worked closely with CEDIA leadership. CEDIA members will receive CEDIA member discount pricing on Commercial Integrator Expo conference programming. That will have a joint keynote between the two shows, networking events that CEDIA members are welcome to attend. So we think this is adding value for the CEDIA Expo experience. And at the same time, we've brought in a number of new partner group associations to support our new conference program. NSCA will be doing a Biz Skills Day and a networking reception. Digital Signage Federation will have a digital signage day and a networking reception. HETMA, Higher Ed Technology Managers Alliance, they're going to be having a session track in our conference program for higher ed education applications and study case studies. And IMCCA, who we've worked with for the last few years on CEDIA Expo, they're going to add a conference track on unified communications and collaboration, talking about the future work and hybrid offices, et cetera, in the Commercial Integrator Expo conference program, as well as stage sessions on the Smart Stage and the Innovation Hub stage on the CEDIA Expo show floor. So those groups, in addition to others that we're currently speaking with, are going to help to market the show to their members and encourage them to attend and bring industry subject matter experts to provide really great content for our new event.
Well, obviously, I carry the flag for Commercial Integrator, but I have to say, as an industry observer, as an industry member for 18 plus years, that group of partners, NSCA, IMCCA, the Digital Signage Federation, HETMA, I can't think of a group of partners that is more in the trenches, in the grassroots of the commercial AV industry, who's going to make sure that that partner program, the Commercial Integrator Expo has, the conference program, the education sessions, are going to be right in line with what the integrators of today need. So let's talk a little bit about that conference program. I know it's still being built out. I know we're going to be having a call for papers pretty soon, but give me a sense of what you want that conference program to be, especially now knowing that we have partnerships with such fantastic organizations that really speak to the very heart of integration today.
That's true, Dan. We did also form a content advisory committee with industry experts from across the commercial industry, from integrators to dealers to end users as well, and yourself included. Since you mentioned you've been in the industry a long time and a great observer and monitoring trends, we've had recent calls and definitely talking about what are the hot topics. People are talking about AI and its impact on the AV industry. We're talking about, connected devices and IoT. We're talking about the rise of micro LED applications, both in residential and commercial. Certainly, continuing to have the conversations around networking, cybersecurity, workforce development, and talent acquisition. There's certainly the technologies and getting technological updates of across the board, really having a focus in on trends and success stories, some peer sharing sessions of what's worked and how challenges have been overcome. At the same time, we're also counting on our friends at NSCA to talk about business topics, project management and sales skills and operations and finance and some of the fundamentals that businesses need. Another big piece of growth opportunity in both channels is managed services, and whether it's leasing hardware as a service and then software as a service, but remote monitoring of systems, on-site support and warranty services. These are all new business opportunities. Content management and production, big piece of new opportunities. We can all create videos from home. We can put together some really great content, whether we're at a corporate site or educational institution, et cetera. How do we have the tools, and what do we need to do to manage that content? And then, of course, there's a lot of content that's out there on the web. How do you manage that? How do you use it and facilitate it in your workplace? There's just a lot of topics. So we hope to put together 50 to 60 sessions over 3 days. I do want to add that the conference program starts the day before the trade show. So Wednesday, September 6th is when the conference programming starts, as well as the CEDIA conference. And then the show opens on Thursday, September 7th. The conference programming will continue on the 7th and September 8th, Friday. And then the show closes on Saturday, September 9th. And we're going to be downtown at the Colorado Convention Center in Denver, Colorado. We were there in 2019, our last full-size show before the pandemic. And we're really excited about getting back there to Denver. We do plan to stay in Denver in the next few years. And we think it's a great destination. All the hotels are really close by downtown to the convention center. It's very accessible, from across the country with air travel, and certainly from the West Coast, Midwest. Just a great destination. We've had great turnout in the past with the show there in Denver, and we're expecting the same this year as people are flocking back to in-person events.
They certainly are, and Denver is a great convention city. I'm looking forward to being there. One thing I do want to talk about is something that I think positively differentiates Commercial Integrator Expo from other kinds of events in our industry, which is that it's going to be focused in terms of verticals on those core bread and butter verticals that integrators make their money on every day. Do you want to talk about our vertical market focuses? Because I think it's a nice differentiator, because when I talk to integration businesses, what they're focused on is their bottom line. What is going to be adding to their balance sheet, their profits? What are the verticals that you think fit that mold?
Well, we start to, Dan, with, where are tangent spaces to, the work that Resi integrators have been doing on the commercial side, and what's been, currently represented at CEDIA Expo in the market space, and that's where we chose to really focus on, corporate, hospitality, retail, higher education as kind of 4 primary vertical markets that we're going to try to address and welcome tech managers from those spaces and have content programming for them at the show, and for the integrators to say, hey, I need to learn more about these opportunities. We do know that there's many vertical market segments in commercial space, and over time, we'll look to progressively add content and scope for some of those additional markets. I know, a lot of integrators do work in house of worship, for example, or government spaces, or healthcare, and some of those others. We certainly welcome tech managers from any of those markets to come to Commercial Integrator Expo, of course, and CEDIA Expo. But this year we're choosing to really kind of focus on those 4 corporate higher ed, hospitality, and retail initially. Live events is exciting, and great eye candy and great experience for in-person events. But we think that's a little further afield from the fixed installation work that integrators are doing in those 4 primary markets that we're looking at, as well as the current work that Resi system integrators are doing. And so we've chosen to really kind of focus on those 4 verticals initially, and have that be more into the content program, looking more at fixed installation in those spaces.
I think it's going to be compelling to a lot of integration business owners and industry stakeholders up and down the chain. Speaking of that, people who are excited to register, when are they going to have an opportunity to register for Commercial Integrator Expo? Where can they go to find more information right now? And will there be additional web resources soon to come?
Yes, and yes. May 8th is when we plan to open registration for CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo. You can visit expo.commercialintegrator.com right now to put your name in, to be notified with updates and when registration is opening again. The CEDIAexpo.com website also has a lot of information. You'll see we have a common floor plan, common exhibitor list. You can search exhibitors by their product categories, et cetera. So that's up up online right now. We're in the process of updating the Commercial Integrator Expo website, which should go live shortly. And you'll start to progressively see more and more information coming out about Commercial Integrator Expo. We are definitely ramping things up week by week now, and we're definitely getting into the fun part here, the race to the finish line to get to the Super Bowl, if you will. It's the one time a year where the industry gathers. We're expecting 20,000 attendees this September. Over 400 exhibitors combined. We're very excited about what's happening, and anybody that's attended a trade show so far this year, and I don't care what industry it is, has had a smile on their face. I mean, there's just been tremendous return back to live events. People have been cooped up at home. They've wanted to get out. They've wanted to reconnect, with their colleagues and peers and experience, what's the latest and greatest, what's next, see the new products. And we'll have that across the show floor at both shows this fall in Denver. So we're excited, very excited about it.
In an industry as relationship driven as ours is, as networking driven as ours is, there's simply no substitute for live events. And bringing together CEDIA Expo, Commercial Integrator Expo in Denver in September, it's a value proposition I think is going to be compelling for a whole lot of people. I know I can't wait to get there, and I look forward to seeing what the team and you create, Jason, in bringing this show to life, Commercial Integrator Expo to life.
Well, thank you, Dan. And I like to say it, there's no I in team. We have a great team here at Emerald and great partners that we just talked about. CEDIA, of course, has been a long time partner of CEDIA Expo, and the new partner groups you mentioned about Commercial Integrator Expo. But it's also the manufacturers. They bring their A game. They bring the new products. They bring the magnificent displays. They're bringing all their technical team and engineering folks that can share the knowledge with the attendees and the ability to network with peers, the movers and shakers of the industry, being there at the show, and the people that you'll get to run into, and people that you can, share a beverage with and have a meal and reconnect and have that FaceTime. It's hard to put a price on that. And, tremendous value, an excellent opportunity. And, it seriously takes a village to put on a great event, and we're working hard now to make sure that dream comes true this fall. So really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. That dream will come true this fall. I can't wait to be there to see it happen. Thank you so much, Jason McGraw, Group Vice President and Show Director for both CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo, for joining me today. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. Please check back on commercialintegrator.com each and every day for more exciting and innovative thought leadership content just like this.